Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. So get comfy. Let's fucking do this. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, I guess. It's way past the Super Bowl by the time this goes up on the internet. But hey, you know, we're sitting here now. It's Sunday, and I'm sitting here today with my friend, new acquaintance, make some noise for the internet, Gallo Locknez.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, bro.
You got it, man. Yeah. Good to have you. Yeah. Good to have you. So for those of you out there in the world that aren't familiar with Gallo, you are a rapper, a producer, a performer, amongst many other things.
Absolutely.
But music is kind of like, I think, the core of your creativity, I would imagine.
That's the central piece.
And aside from that, I imagine you're a human being with a life and a family and all that kind of stuff, an adult.
Yeah.
Things like that. So let's balance this conversation here with the yin and yang of that. Let's start with, what is it like, being somebody that's still trying to pursue this creative passion, but also on the other end of things, you got this life that you're responsible for. How do you balance those two things out?
Yo, it's crazy. It's definitely a balancing act. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of sleepless nights, you know what I mean? And, pursuing music is already sleepless, but, I got young kids. I got a wife, you know what I mean? I got responsibility.
Kids, plural.
Yeah, kids. I have 2 kids.
Nice.
So, yeah.
How old are they?
Well, actually, my 4-year-old will be 5 tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, for sure. And then I have a 11-year-old.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, I deal with schoolwork and stuff with my 11-year-old, and then my 4-year-old is pretty much hanging with me all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's a lot of fun, man. And as she gets older, she just understands. She gets it. You know what I mean? She's still a kid, so she's gonna require attention. But for the most part, she's cool. You know what I mean? She knows how to entertain herself.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids into music?
Not creating wise, but
just in listening.
They love music, listening wise. You know what I mean? And they're definitely daddy's biggest fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they love music, man. They love hip hop. They sing along. They catch on quick. My youngest one, I taught her "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" on the piano. She learned it in 5 minutes, bro. So I'm gonna kind of dig into that, see where that goes. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Yeah, bro.
What about your wife? What's her relationship with music?
So actually, man, how I met my wife was I was making beats on this website called SoundClick. Do you remember SoundClick?
No.
Okay, it was SoundClick. And she was a singer. She was looking for beats and she found me. You know what I mean?
No shit.
Word up. And
that's some romance.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
And yeah, bro. And you know what I mean? She was really interested in the beats and stuff. And we ended up performing and stuff a few times, and it was pretty cool. And then she just kind of lost interest in it. It wasn't really her passion. It was something that she wanted to do. And then, but the passion is with me. You know what I mean? And she's super supportive. I'm super thankful for that.
That's so important.
Yeah, super important, bro. I have a lot of friends that are married, and, their wives sometimes give them a hard time. You know what I mean? Like, okay, when's enough? When is enough enough? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my wife has never said that to me. You know what I mean? So I'm super thankful for that. You know what I mean? Plus, I make money with it, so that helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's cool. She's really cool and supportive, man. Shout out my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shout outs.
Yeah, she's tuned in. You know what I mean?
So with the monetary aspect of this creativity, over the years, how have you found ways to monetize your creativity? When did you start coming from that? I guess if I rephrase this in a way that makes a little bit more sense, my bad. What was the point where you were able to start, making a little bit of money off of the music? What were you doing?
Honestly, man, I started making money right away. You know what I'm saying? Because I started with rap, but for hobby, but I started making beats around the same time too. And I started making beats. I got better, and honestly, other people in the area heard that I made beats. You know what I'm saying? So
what year was this?
That's a long time ago, bro.
No, I feel you.
I don't want you to age me. Let me see. Maybe like 2001, 2002.
Okay, yeah.
Is when I started making beats. Let me see. Is that around that time?
Okay, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, I'm turning 35 this year.
Okay, word.
I started making beats in 8th grade.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
I was making beats like, 99, 2000,
Okay. Yeah.
2001, and
Word
around
up.
that time, nobody else was real. I mean, there was people that did it, but it's
Yeah.
not like it was now.
Yeah.
So it was like actually like really easy to like people were real hungry for original
Exactly.
beats.
Yeah,
And it wasn't like YouTube wasn't a thing. And
Yep.
like there were some websites, but people
Yeah.
really weren't like buying beats offline wasn't a thing. So like
Exactly.
all the time people were always hitting me up for beats. It was really easy when I started.
Yeah.
It got a little harder over the years, but
It did because it became oversaturated,
Yeah.
right? A lot more people started doing it. But I was one of the first people to start speaking of YouTube, I was one of the first people to actually make my beats on YouTube. You know what I mean? I was part of that first wave.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, if you go back, and it's still up on YouTube, I mean, I have 30,000, 40,000 views on there. You know what I mean? From people, because it was new. You know what I'm saying? The process of showing how to make beats. But eventually what came to happen is I made beats for people. And then I started to try to get like a little label. You know what I mean? Not an official label, but, a team.
Yeah.
And I started making beats for people and stuff. And then from there, I would write people's hooks. And then from there, I would write people's verses.
And you were like monetizing all of it.
No, not with the team.
Okay.
Not with the team.
I got you.
Because I kind of fell away from it a little bit, right? And then I kind of got back into monetizing the music when I joined a website called Rock Battle,
Okay.
which is ran by Rockweiler. So he's a producer. He's produced for Jay-Z, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Christina Aguilera, like
People you've heard of.
yes, you know what I mean? Like yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So I was one of the first people to sign up, and they had a tournament, and I made it to the championship round. And if you make it to the championship round, you get a deal.
The tournament was for beats?
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
beat tournament.
Cool.
So I made it to the championship round. I didn't win, but I made it. I was second place, and with that, I got a deal. You know what I mean, with Rockweiler, which was cool. And but on the website, I would sell beats. We would lease. That's when I was introduced to leasing beats.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would lease beats, and and then through Rockweiler, he opened my eye to like to TV placements and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was dope. Where I got my first TV placement.
Yeah, I've seen you post about that sort of stuff on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah. That's definitely become like my baby right now. You know what I mean? But at the time, I didn't realize how much attached to it I would be. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But yeah. So that's what happened, and it was a short-lived deal. It wasn't a long deal, but I learned a lot through Rockweiler. You know what I'm saying? And he introduced me to a lot of people, which was pretty dope, and it was cool. Yeah, I mean, and then I just kept that mentality of, keeping it a business and monetizing the music. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually I became a rapper back in like 2011, 2012. And my first album I put out for sale. You know what I mean? Where like most people are like, nah, you got to put it out for free and you should put it out as a mixtape. And I'm like, nah, like I'm a monetize. I'm gonna create value to my music. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? For me, at least. And that's what happened, man. And I've always been that type of person. So
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of artists have this problem with selling themselves short.
yeah,
And I feel that sometimes you could tell an artist just doesn't have the confidence in their work by how
sure.
they put it out there.
for sure.
And like, I think that if you have a product that's decent, it's
Yeah.
not that hard to make money off of it.
No, especially if you got people that like you. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, people buy into you. You know what I mean? It's not always the product. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times people buy into you because they like you.
Especially with hip hop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personality is so much.
Absolutely.
Of it, I mean, it's you. It's like the brand is you.
Exactly.
Versus like say you have a rock band and it's like
Yeah.
you got 4 or 5 different people.
Yeah, it's the majority of the music.
Yeah.
For sure. Which makes sense. Or at least the message, right? So yeah. So that's what happened, man. And I continue to monetize it, and then I find different ways to monetize it. Music licensing and working for companies. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. The goal is kind of do what like Common and Prince did, where they actually don't really charge the consumer anymore, but they charge like the companies. So like I eventually want to put music out where it's free for the consumer, but I'm still getting paid from like a sponsorship or something, or from like a business.
Yeah.
So I still make money, but then the fans, the people that actually enjoy the music, get it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel like with the way streaming has impacted music now,
Yeah.
you need to focus on those alternative ways to make the money.
Absolutely.
And that's, you're not going to make the money from the music itself.
No.
But I mean, you got merchandise, or if you have like a dope physical product, like there's some artists that can get their shit pressed on vinyl and they can sell that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like selling CDs is a lot harder than it used to be.
Absolutely.
But
a lot of people don't have CD players.
The interesting thing though with that is like, I have my hip hop shit that I do.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to push CDs and that to that crowd.
Absolutely.
But I also play in a heavy metal band.
Okay.
And like our demographic is people that are like 35 to 45 a lot.
Okay.
And they still have CD players. So we actually sell CDs.
Word.
And I think a lot of it
That's
also
dope.
just depends like knowing your audience. And
Yeah, the
what
demographic,
knowing
right?
what your demographic wants.
Absolutely, 100%. And over the years, I've eventually learned that. You know what I mean? The importance of that. You know what I mean? Understanding who your fans are, understanding what they like, and how you can monetize it, but also keep them happy. So I've learned that over time.
Yeah, it's like there's no right answer. There's no right way. Yep. You can read all the books, watch all the YouTube videos that you want. I mean, like you can learn some stuff.
Yeah.
You can get ideas, but until you actually get off your ass and do it yourself, that's the only way you're going to know what works and what doesn't work.
Yep. Trial and error.
Yeah. So with the solo music, like the rapping stuff, let's talk about that.
Sure.
And what the dynamic shift was from, leasing beats, doing licensing with, TV and things like that.
Yeah.
To like, okay, well, I have my own product now and this is a thing.
Yeah.
What were some of the struggles that were different that you had to face with like putting out this thing? Like, this is me and this is my voice and my message and my brand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, struggle wise, it's a lot more overhead. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay for traveling. You got to pay to press, promote it. You got to pay, distribute the music and all that. So, there's definitely a struggle there. And then, of course, gaining fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this guy? There's a trillion rappers.
I find that it's like if you're just like leasing like instrumental music to somebody or something like that, it's a lot easier sometimes because there isn't like this personal attachment to it. Someone just needs music for something that they want to rap on, or someone needs a background for, a video project they're working on, things like that. But when it's like, this is me, this is Gallo Locknez, it's like, I need to figure out how to get you to give a shit about me. It's so hard.
It is a lot more difficult. It's all about finding a way to stand out. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I learned. And for me, obviously I stand out because I'm a clean rapper, right? That helps me a lot. I don't curse on my music.
I remember this now because you were talking before we started recording. You were talking about the Spotify playlists, and you had asked looking for rap tracks that were clean.
Exactly. So you do remember it. That's cool.
I do remember that because the last album that I put out was clean for the most part.
Okay.
I think there may have been like one hidden shit in there somewhere, but like it was just like it felt like it was like really like it made sense for the line. So, but like for the most part, when I did my last album, I like intentionally tried to write it clean just to like challenge myself to like use better vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly. That's dope, man. And I don't knock people that do curse in their music. Just, for me, doing TV licensing and dealing with a lot of corporations, they kind of shy away from, the vulgarity and stuff like that. And the profanity and stuff. So, I just got in the habit of, and then plus I just don't curse in real life. You know what I'm saying? I have children and stuff, and I try to set an example with that. So it's kind of natural for me, honestly. A lot of people are like, how do you not curse in your raps? You know what I mean? And I'll freestyle and not curse, you know what I'm saying? But it's just over time.
The other thing too is like, I imagine a lot of your music's coming from more of a positive angle.
For sure, absolutely.
So it's like you don't even have anything to curse about.
Yeah, for sure. No. Nah, you know what though? You can find things to curse about. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could definitely come. But I try to be conscious about that and set an example for other people. And then I encourage other people that do music with me to not curse as well. I mean, if they do, it's cool too. But challenge yourself.
It's just a matter of like, why are you cursing?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like, because like all curse words are to me is just like it's language, and it could be used in an effective way to get a point across if you're doing it with purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's a reason to be saying this, like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But if it's just a thing where you're just trying to like fill out a bar with an extra syllable or something to round it out, so you throw in an extra F word or an extra this, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You're just not challenging yourself enough.
It's not. And then a lot of rappers do that. You know what I'm saying? And they'll use unnecessary when you can actually just, try to expand your vocabulary, use a different word there, put another word there. And it's just better, man. And like I said, because I deal with a lot more corporations and companies, that works to my benefit. You know what I'm saying? Like that works out a lot. They're more likely to use me. I mean, that's not for nothing. That was one of the biggest reasons why I got the NBA deal and why I got the boxing commercial. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a past of dirty language and, and profanity. You know what I mean? That was one thing that really caught, attracted them to me. So,
it's funny thinking about just the way the mainstream hip hop rap.
Yeah.
That whole spectrum has gone over the past decade, but like the past half decade in particular, it is so much more vulgar than I ever remember it being in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I grew up through, the East Coast, West Coast gangster rap stuff, and stuff is so much more vulgar and violent now than then. Which is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
But the stuff that like so many very popular artists that young people are listening to and embracing, the stuff that they talk about and the language that they use. Granted, I'm not a prude. I'll drop F-bombs.
Sure.
I like alcohol. I like sex. I like these things. You know what I mean? I'm normal. I'm not, but to like the level that I hear so many people talking about stuff that are very popular, it blows my mind.
And it's unnecessary. A lot of it's unnecessary. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But it's working. Yeah. So it's kind of like working to what, to whose benefit.
Yeah. To the agenda that they're trying to push.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's scary. But let's take this back to, some of those bigger deals that you have made. You mentioned the NBA thing and the boxing thing. Yeah. For anybody that's watching this that isn't familiar with you and what you've done, let's dig a little bit more into those.
For sure. So I had a deal with the NBA for 2 seasons, and I did recap raps for them. And basically what I did was I would recap a game. So a game would happen. Say a game would happen at 8:30, whatever. It would be done by 10:30. I would actually make a beat. I would write about the highlights of the game, right? So it's kind of like a sportscaster highlighting it, but in rap form, right? And I would, highlight certain plays, certain statistics, and then I would record it. I would mix it. I would master it and have it done in like 2 to 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of work, but then I would get it to them about like 2 a.m., anywhere between midnight and 2 a.m. Then they would put the video together, and by 9 a.m., between 9 a.m. and noon, they would put it on the NBA will put it on their websites and stuff and promote it. And it was cool. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun. And it was massive exposure, massive exposure. Yeah. You know what I mean? My fan, my following was just 10 times. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a big platform. So I did that, and then from there I did the commercial for a boxing event. It was Canelo versus Triple G, and I was on the main ad. You know what I mean? And that was everywhere. It was on ESPN, it was on radio, it was in the movie theaters, on TV. I mean, they played that ad everywhere. So every 2 minutes I was on somebody's TV. You know what I'm saying? So that was really, really fun. That was a dope opportunity as well. And
for that, was that like a song or just a beat or what?
No, it was a song. It was,
song.
Yeah. It was for advertisement. So the NBA stuff was no more than a minute long.
Yeah.
The boxing stuff was it was a 30-second track.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
But I had to do like 6 versions of that track. You know what I mean? Because they had to do it for radio, had to do it for TV, had to do it for a movie ad.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and then I had to change some of now, speaking about me being a clean rapper, because it was boxing, I had to change some of my lyrics even more so that it for when they played it like at a kids movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna advertise these adults beating the shit out of each other to children. So clean up your language a little bit, all right?
Yeah, basically. And I mean, it was cool. You know what I mean? And it was a process. It took us about 2 weeks to get that done because I'm working with. So I got the video prior. I wrote to the video. You know what I mean? And then I'm dealing with video people and their engineers over there and having to correct certain things. And I made the music for it. I made the music. I wrote the lyrics. I mixed it. I mastered it. It was all me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was a dope opportunity. And then from there, I moved on to TV licensing. You know what I'm saying? And now and that's current. I do stuff for commercials and TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So, but it's all like hip hop based, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Over your years of, I mean, it seems like you had mentioned that you started doing beats in like the early 2000s.
For sure.
And then you started doing the solo rap stuff in the early 2010s.
Correct.
So there was this decade where, you know, were you like thinking about rapping at all? Were you writing at all in that time?
Yeah,
you just didn't actually like release anything.
Exactly.
Until, I imagine you maybe even had things recorded that you just kind of were like, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think I did. I think I may have released some songs on YouTube, maybe just like playing around. It wasn't serious, you know what I mean? And not for nothing. When I was in high school, I actually put together a little album of me rapping.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was horrible. You know?
Sure.
What I'm saying?
That was just main reason I was asking was because I was curious. It just seems like the way that you talk about writing and your approaches to things. It just seems like, you know, someone that's very experienced
for sure.
And just like I think that's an experience that you only get just over time.
Absolutely.
You know, spending a lot of time trying things that don't work. Like little silly projects in high school and then like little songs here and there that nobody hears. And then, you know, over, you know, 10 years later, it's like, well, now maybe I feel ready to do this. But that's like a natural thing.
Yeah.
It takes people a lot of time to get things together.
It does.
You know,
it takes time.
I keep on bringing this up to a lot of people, but a lot of there's a, you know, Billie Eilish is huge right now. She has she's swept at the Grammys. She has a lot of fans and a lot of haters too,
for sure.
And it blows my mind. People were like, you know, this girl came out of nowhere and did all this stuff. It's like, no, she's probably been working on music for a decade too, with her brother. It's just that she started when she was like fucking 8.
Exactly.
Not starting when they're like 25 and bitter like you.
Yeah.
You know, like
exactly.
It's like she's been putting in the work. This didn't come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, like I had friends sending me music of hers like 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Like some of her like early projects when she was dropping stuff. Like, she's not new at all. She's been doing stuff for a while.
It took some time.
Yeah, it does take a lot of time.
Yeah. I don't know much about her. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was just at the Grammys last week and I was just like, all I heard was a single, you know what I mean? So, and I don't really like the single, you know what I mean? So I kind of wrote her off, you know? And it just happened that me and my boy went to lunch and we actually had lunch with her engineer, you know what I mean? And dude was cool and he was like, nah, you should give it a listen, give it a try. You know what I mean? That song is not, that does not define her. You know what I mean? She's actually, she can sing. She's really talented. So I said, for sure, I will. And then we're at the Grammys and she performed a whole different song where she's actually singing. And I'm like, yo, this girl can sing. Like, I had no idea. And then my boy was like, yeah, bro, like they started they got YouTube videos where they started in their bedroom and, you know, and you know, it's like mad inspirational. So I say all that to say, you know, I'm gonna give her a chance. You know,
I mean,
I'm gonna check her out.
It's like, you know, she's still super young, still finding her voice.
Yeah.
What she wants to be as an artist. And I'm just excited to see somebody that is as young as she is, you know, doing like something that's unique. It's her own voice. It's positive and it's good for like people that are her age. Something to look up to. Just good to see.
Inspirational.
Yeah. It's just good to see it. And I'm excited to see like how she continues to develop over the next decade.
Yeah. And I think she'll do good, man, especially working with her brother and stuff. But like, you know, I think they got a creative process of them working together. I'm definitely going to watch that. But I mean, that's dope, man. You know what I'm saying? To be in the bedroom. How many home studios are there? You know what I mean? People are always, there's a lot of artists working out the home studio. Like, that's inspirational, yo. You know what I mean? So I rock with it, man.
It's funny. I mean, me and you come from a time frame when, you know, when we were making beats, starting out in the early 2000s, like the equipment and the technology was nowhere near what it is now.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's so us coming from the background that we did, now having access to this technology combined. So it's like we kind of like had to grind maybe a little bit harder with more prehistoric equipment.
Yeah.
And now we have that knowledge with all of this new stuff. Yeah. It's like, there's no reason to not do this just out of an extra room.
Exactly. You don't need to. You don't need a big studio anymore.
No.
Yeah. I was in Cali and I was talking with Peter Raffelson. He wrote Madonna's. I can't remember the name of the song, but he wrote one of Madonna's hits, right? And he owns a studio in North Hollywood, and he rents it out to a whole bunch of people. And these rooms have big boards, and then there's one room with just a computer. Right. And that's where majority of the work is done.
I bet.
Yeah. And he's like, we got the big boards for show. You know what I mean? Because that's part of the sell. You know what I mean? But honestly, most of the work is done there. I know engineers that work in studios that will take the music home and mix it from home.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. And real quick, I just want to elaborate on something because you talk about where we came from. I actually started making beats in my home, too. My father's a musician, right? So he used to show me a little bit of piano, but my father was really stingy with his stuff, right?
Okay.
So when he would be at work during the day, I used to sneak down and I used to use his equipment, but I didn't have like a sequencer or anything like that. So I actually put this is gonna date me, but I put VCR to the actual audio, and I used to run my VCR. So I had two VCRs, and I would run my VCR upstairs into my computer. And I would record my music on an actual VHS tape.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, bro. And, there's no video, but, there's audio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I record me playing the piano, laying drums down on a drum machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll put it together. And it was funny because in order to make it sound right, and I still got my first beat, in order to make it sound right, if you remember VCRs, there's tracking. Right. So I'm constantly tracking the tape so that it sounds good. And I mean, you'll hear the song and it'll be like, you know what I mean? Because the tracking is off.
It's auto-tune.
Yeah, exactly. Now, right? and
chopped and screwed.
Yeah. That's how I started though.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Dude. All right. So check this out.
Yeah.
When I started making like my 8th grade making beats.
Yeah.
I was making beats on MTV's Music Generator.
Oh, yeah.
On Sony PlayStation.
I know a few people that started with that.
All right. So what I did was I like make a beat, then I'd write a rap.
Okay.
I had a camcorder that I got for Christmas.
Okay.
So I would set up the camcorder by the TV.
Yeah.
And I would play the beat on the TV and rap at the camcorder to record the audio. Then I would play the audio back and use the RCA jack into my stereo and dub it onto a cassette tape. And that's how I did my audio.
That's crazy.
So it's so similar.
Yeah.
That's for anybody. So I'm dating myself a little bit too.
For sure.
But that's the kind of shit that we had to go through just because we were hungry to create something.
Exactly.
And it's all like,
and you couldn't get in studios back then.
No.
You had to have a huge budget in order to get into studios.
Yeah, and like home recording software stuff was just not quite where it was.
For sure.
I eventually, my senior year of high school, I ended up trading that camcorder to a buddy of mine that had a computer tower.
Oh, okay.
That he had an extra computer tower that already had recording software on it.
That's cool.
So I ended up trading the camcorder for that computer tower, and that's where I started recording music.
That's dope. Do you still have your video?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have all that stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. I got to see that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You should just upload it to YouTube just for the heck of it.
Well, before that, like in my like childhood days, I had a little like crappy like Family Dollar kids drum set and a keyboard. And I learned when I was a kid, my grandma had a cassette tape to tape dubber.
Okay.
So I learned what I could do was I could record and it had like a little onboard mic.
Okay.
And I could like play the drum part, right?
Yeah.
And then onto a tape. And then I could play that tape back and record it onto another tape with the microphone going and do my overdub. So I did my keyboard and my vocal on top of the drum shit when I was like 10.
That's crazy, bro. That's super like very creative, bro. Like I tip my hat to you for that. That's super dope, yo.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I was like always just fucking around with that kind of stuff, like since I was like a kid.
Yeah,
it's like my I grew up like pretty much with my grandma and my
Yeah.
uncle. Like my mom and my dad were divorced, and my mom worked a lot and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But so I just like, I didn't have any friends. I spent a lot of time in the house. My uncle was a big movie collector, big record collector.
Yeah.
So it was always like, yo, if you want to watch a movie like on beta versus VCR, you got to unhook the TV and like change the inputs. So as a little kid, I was like, I understood like how to do all the different audio and video hookups
around it.
Yeah.
That's
dope. Around it. Yeah.
That's super cool, bro. And I think it was kind of similar for me. You know, I was always the I don't want to say electrician, but like I knew how to hook up everything.
Tech savvy. Yeah,
tech savvy. You know what I mean? So that was always me in my house
before everything was wireless.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you don't have to really deal with that. Although, you know, wired, in my opinion, wired has better, you know, quality.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I love the advancement in technology. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that love it. You know what I mean? I know there's some people that's like, oh, I miss the tape days and the analog days and all that. Man, I love things convenient. And
I have my tape saturator plugins. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Word up, bro. Word up, man. If you want that sound,
you can get it.
Do it.
You can get it.
Word up. Word up. So I love technology. That's something that I want to kind of get into moving forward. I was actually speaking to another engineer who actually does technology, and he's kind of touching into that too. And man, I love technology, bro. So you know, it's dope.
Outside of the, you know, rapping and the producing and the performing, the music stuff, do you have any hobbies outside of music?
For sure. Yeah, man. Gotta stay sane. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I love video games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a crazy gamer, but it's my getaway.
You have a healthy relationship.
I do. Yeah, I do. You know what I mean? I try to get in at least an hour a day. You know what I'm saying? And switch it up. And then
with like modern games, you keep up with modern stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Absolutely. But I like sports games, you know what I'm saying? I like fighting games. I recently started to get back into like the one player story mode games, you know, like God of War and stuff like that, man. But that, and then I love like comic stuff, you know what I mean? Like superhero stuff. So I love the movies, I love the TV shows, and I love a good movie. You know what I'm saying? So those are mainly it. And then the other things is just honestly just chilling with my family, bro. Like that brings me the most joy. You know what I'm saying? So I hang out with my kids a lot.
Your kids only grow up once.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to miss out on that, man. And you know, I hang out with my wife a lot, and we do a lot, man. We do a lot. You know, I was just out in Cali, and you know, I was able to actually bring them out with me. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was dope, bro. And they got to experience Cali. Growing up, I always wanted to go to Cali. I wasn't able to go to Cali until like 2-3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I could bring them as kids, like that meant everything to me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then my wife got to experience it. She had never been. You know what I'm saying? So, and we loved it. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with my family and then like games and TV shows.
Have you got to do any music for any video games?
So that's a goal of mine. Goal of mine. I did have a couple of close opportunities, but they didn't pan out. But no, that's definitely a goal of mine, man.
If you could compose something for any video game franchise, what would you want to do?
That's a good question. I mean, I like, I'm hip hop driven, man. So, I love 2K. I love, any game like that. But I also do like soundtrack stuff, man. I love scoring stuff. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's like to do something for like God of War or like, yeah, that'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to do something like that. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about like your back to music, your experience in creating anything outside of the realm of hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, have you dabbled in doing anything?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I used to be part of a internet band called the Dead Clowns, and we dabbled into a lot of like rock hip hop. Okay. You know what I mean? And we got some songs on YouTube. Matter of fact, my first NBA placement was with the Dead Clowns. Okay. And it was like a rock hip hop. It's for their theme it was a theme song for their TV show called NBA Rooks. And it's like a rock hip hop track. You know what I mean? So anytime that they play NBA Rooks, even to this day, they play that as a theme song. You know what I mean?
That's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, that I love electronic music. I'm not gonna front. I definitely like live sound, but I love electronic sounds, man. So
I think as a producer,
yeah,
you end up developing like a deeper appreciation for electronic music.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like you start thinking about things like, how did they EQ that low
How did they
end?
do it?
How are,
Exactly.
like, what are these
100%.
sounds? What are these synths? That's why like it's always interesting to me to like, meet people that don't make make music at all, but listen to electronic music. I'm like, this is interesting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like the equivalent of like somebody that like doesn't know how to cook watching cooking shows all the time. I guess it's like, I mean, you like food and I guess it's fun to watch people, but like when I'm like, listening to electronic music, it's never just for sometimes it's for the music. Sometimes music's cool. But it's always just that like behind the curtain, like thinking about like, what are these sounds? What is this
how did
texture?
they make that? How did they make that work? And a lot of it too, like, was really cool. Is like how a lot of the movement in tracks isn't really played. That's more in like the engineering side of it. You know what I mean? With compression and side chaining, and gating and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's not technically played by hand. You know what I mean? A lot of the effects that they do that add personality to the music and color. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I dude, once I started to get into it, it was just like, oh my God, like this, like it feels limitless. You know what I mean? So I really, really love electronic music, man. You know what I mean? So dance, I'm kind of digging into a little electronic hip hop. Yeah, I mean, that's a new thing that I'm trying to get into a little bit.
Yeah.
And then electronic rock. You know what I'm saying? So I think electronic is the easiest to blend. You know what I'm saying, with genre.
Oh, sure. It's so plastic. You can do whatever you want with it.
Exactly. So I bro, I have a lot of fun with it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fun because I think that when you're composing music, to put yourself into any sort of a genre box is just super limiting, especially if you're somebody that's on this like never-ending quest for knowledge and trying to challenge yourself and learn new production techniques. You know what I mean? It's like, don't get me wrong, I love making a good classic boom bap beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, there's a ceiling on that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's more like, cool, you find your samples, you loop them, and then you're good. Yeah. But it's like, okay, well, maybe I want to start experimenting with some of these other effects and these other things. And
with boom bap, I'm happy that you brought that up. It is very limited. You know what I mean? Because people are looking more for the feel. They don't care about the the technology or whatever. I can't say it, but what is it? Whatever. Anyway,
the technicality.
Yeah, technicality. Thank you. They're not looking for that.
Yeah, it's more for like the beat is more of like a wallpaper to the lyrics and the lyrical aspects of it. You know what I mean? It's like you put a vibe out with the beat. Yeah, and then what sells the song is the vocals.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I mean, that's important in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing against that style of music. I love that stuff. Yeah.
But and then in boom bap too. What takes the front? The boom and the bap. You know what I mean? The drums and the snare. I mean, the kick and the snare. Yeah. So that that really leads it in. So a lot of boom bap is not technical. You know what I mean? It's, again, like you said, you find a sample, you loop it, you may play with the sample a little bit, but it's all about the drums. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the lyrics too. If you do a song, but as far as the beat goes, it's all about the drums, man. Whereas, like I said, with a dance record, of course, you got to have your low end, right? You got to have that bump. You got to have the drop. But the feeling and the personality that you could play with the pads and the synths, you know what I mean? And
there's a lot more.
It's dope.
Sometimes there's a lot more patience in electronic music. You got to really kind of take your time with it. Like, I know people that can make 4 or 5 boom bap beats in a day. Absolutely. But sometimes it might take you 2 weeks to write one piece of electronic music that's like fully composed and all.
Yeah, with all the switch ups and still keeping it interesting, because like it's a faster tempo, so it's very repetitive. So you got to find a way to make it unrepetitive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, I love electronic music. R&B, obviously, right? Like soul and rap, and I can't sing, but you know what I mean. But I mean, I work with singers and stuff all the time. I produce pop music as well, and R&B and all that too. So I try to stay well versed within the music realm. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just try to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So right now, what is your focus mainly? Like, are you still putting out a lot of solo material?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right now we're doing me and my guy Jay Flow, we're doing a song a week challenge. We challenged ourselves. Yeah. We challenged ourselves to drop a song a week. We were inspired by Russ.
Yes.
Russ did that a while ago on SoundCloud. And but we're doing it through Spotify. So we could kind of like, you know, it's easier to get to, you know what I mean, stream wise and monetization wise too. But yeah, we're doing that, and that's a challenge. You know what I mean? It's a challenge because, you know, we got to make the music, we got to mix it, we got to put it out, and because we're doing it on Spotify, it has to be out. You
need to give time for them to actually release it. Yeah.
So, but it's been great, man. It's been super. People have been super supportive of it. Been very encouraging, and the thing that I love about it is I can do all different types of styles. So it's cool.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah. You can't do the same thing over and over. I mean, it's 52 songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely it's a lot, bro. But it's fun. It's fun, man, because I love making music. So
absolutely. In terms of the performance aspect of things that you're doing, how often do you find yourself performing?
I don't perform as much as I would like to. You know what I'm saying? For me, I don't like to perform for free.
Okay. You
know what I'm saying? You know, I'll do it for charity and stuff sometimes, but I put a lot into my stage show. You know what I mean? It's very exhausting because I give a lot. You know what I mean? I'm an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a rapper up on a stage. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't perform as much as I would like to, but I do perform maybe about anywhere between 10 to 15 times a year.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 to 15
like once
times
a month,
year.
maybe.
Yeah, about. Sometimes it's a little less, but
I feel you. Yeah, I think that's a healthy amount depending on how often you're in town and how often you're out of town.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I imagine like with family and everything, like, you know, you find yourself wanting to be home and not necessarily going on tour and shit like that. So, I think like, you know, like once a month, once every other month, that's a healthy dose to be playing in your hometown. For sure. But I mean, if you're somebody that's hungry to play shows, I can understand. I know some motherfuckers that play like every weekend. Yeah. Almost like, that's cool. Like, but I imagine it's like exhausting too. I mean, like exhausting to your like fan base and your friends and shit like that.
Yeah. If you're making money, man, I love it. Like, I never get tired of making money. You know what I'm saying? But like, what I want to do is at least once every other week. You know what I mean? Twice a month, man. You know what I mean? And making money. You know what I mean? I do book gigs in town, out of town. And I get paid. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I put on a show, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really like doing it for free, man, because, you know, I have a big beef with performing for free and the way the system is set up, you know what I mean, where they take advantage of a lot of artists, you know what I mean? And honestly, they have artists pay to perform. Yeah,
it's so interesting in like the world of hip hop in particular.
It's crazy.
The way that promoters are so like, it's not even like hidden scheming.
Nah,
like they're just
out there, bro.
Outwardly just taking advantage of performers. You know what I mean? Like pay $200 to be in this showcase that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah, exactly. And the audience is just other artists that don't care. They just want to perform. Yeah. It's completely unfair. And, you know, I preach up and down to people, especially my peers, like, yo, if you're going to perform, at minimal, don't pay to perform. You know what I mean? If you're going to perform for free, I don't knock it because it definitely helps sharpen your skill, right? You know what I mean? But if you have, it
depends on I think there's so much that goes into it for me in terms of like, you know, making money from a show and not making money from a show. If it's an event where it's like, you know, okay, this is like they're charging $5 to get in the door. Yeah. And, you know, I get to play for a half hour or whatever. And there's going to be people there. Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever. Maybe I'll sell some merch. It's super chill. Yeah. But it's like, you know, you're charging people $20 to get in the door. Yeah. And there's like a bar, like alcohol sales and all these things that. And I'm walking out with nothing.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's taking advantage.
Yeah. It's just a matter of like, what is this? You know what I mean? Is this just kind of like a bunch of artists hanging out? Is it more of like an opportunity to network and just play and sharpen, sharpen your skills with the set? Yeah. Cool. You know what I mean? Like there's more value in this that isn't necessarily monetary. that you can get from this.
Exactly.
But that's something that happens a lot more with, I think, rock bands and not necessarily the hip hop world.
For sure, yeah. And you got to weigh your options. You know what I mean? One thing I learned from somebody, they said, every show can be a paid show. Whether you performing for free, every show could be a paid for show. What does that mean? Selling merch. Make sure you have your merch. You know what I mean? What else does that mean? Make sure you reach out to the people there so that they become your fans and they follow you.
Yeah.
Right? What else does that mean? If there's an opportunity to meet somebody and network with somebody and grow and create another opportunity from that, then that could be also a form of payment.
It's also like the idea of like, you got to spend money to make money.
For sure.
And that doesn't necessarily need to be like monetary money.
Yes.
Like you got to spend time to get time from other people.
Absolutely.
So like, maybe you play some free gigs. I've played free gigs where there have been people there that would have never probably paid to come see me or been in an event that they would have to pay to get into, but they saw me for free at like a First Friday event or something like that. And like, they're like, oh shit, this is tight. And then they follow me online and like, maybe I'll see them at a gig then.
There you go.
So there are opportunities. That's like the energy that you put into it.
Absolutely, man. And at the end of the day, man, like if you don't have a following, you can't expect people to invest in you if they don't know you. You know what I mean? So I get doing free shows and stuff. But once you establish yourself and you understand the art of performing, I definitely encourage artists to enforce payment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think too, like there's a lot of the once you get to a certain point, there are artists that like you get to a certain point and you're not starting out anymore. Like you have it figured out.
Yeah,
you're at a point where you can play shows and make some money.
Yeah.
Don't take those opportunities of those free shows because what you're doing is you're taking an opportunity from another artist that actually needs to develop they need to develop that time.
Absolutely.
Focus on actually, if you can't find shows to get on, book your own show.
Yeah.
Get a venue.
Yep.
Become your own promoter.
Yep.
You can make a lot more money at a show if you're the promoter too.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
It's not impossible.
I agree 100%. And then the other thing too, something that I put into practice is two things, right? When you do a show, especially if you do a showcase and you're performing for free, one, support the other artist performing. You know what I mean? Don't play the wall. Don't stay in the back until it's your turn to perform.
Yeah.
Go up front. That's what you want. So stand up front, support them, give them encouragement while they're up on that stage. Second thing, after you perform, stick around.
Sure.
Don't leave right away. Now, I understand if you got a life and you got things you got to do. Sometimes that happens. But don't make it a practice to leave after you perform. Yeah. Because you want to network with people. You want to build with people. Normally, after my shows, I have wristbands. So after I perform, well, now at this point, after I perform, a lot of people line up at my merch table. But, even after then, or if, say, it doesn't happen, I'm walking around the crowd and I'm giving out free wristbands and I'm building with people. And normally, conversations start. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't have that drive to want to go up to you and be like, yo, you did a great job. Yeah. Yo, where can I find more of your music? Not everybody's like that. You know what I mean? So again, what I do is I walk around and I try to get everybody in that crowd. I'm trying to give them a wristband. You know what I mean? And like I said, conversations start and I gain a lot more followers that way. So,
no, human connection is important.
Yeah.
And it's just, it blows my mind when artists show up late, leave early, don't bring merch. Yeah. And they're not getting paid. Yeah. It's like, why are you here?
Why are you here, bro?
Why'd you even bother?
Yeah. So you could take pictures and be like, yo, I just performed. Like, bro, come on. You know what I mean? You're not really taking advantage of, the opportunity.
Yeah. It sucks. But also too, like a lot of people that are coming out to a local show. Yeah. Part of them is hoping that they are going to meet some people.
Yeah. Exactly.
They want to make that connection as much as you do.
Yeah.
It's just that somebody needs to break the ice. And a lot of the time, the people that come out to shows, they're not performers. They're not socially trained and introducing themselves to strangers and shit like that.
Yeah.
So just
sometimes it helps to take the initiative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to tell people, man, like even if I'm at a show and there's other artists, especially my friends, I'm like, yo, come up front with me. You know what I mean? Let's rock out with this dude. You know what I'm saying? And from there, speaking of monetization, because I'm a producer, it turns into money for me sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because it's other rappers. They looking for beats. You know what I mean? And they realize I was supportive first. That's another thing. A lot of my opportunities come from me being supportive first. You know what I'm saying? So there's people that do certain things and they have, I look up to what they do. I'm gonna support them. I'm not gonna just be like, yo, what can you do for me? Nah, look, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
Which in turn, what can we do for us? You know what I'm saying? So that's another practice that I.
Yeah, it's a fine line too. Like there's definitely been people that have like hit me up to come on the show that have like no idea what this is.
Yeah.
And it's obvious when they show up, they have no idea what this is. And it's like, I'm happy to like, meet people. It's like, I love meeting new people. That's why I'm still doing this show.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm not meeting new people, it's like,
what's the point?
I don't need to like rent a space and set all this shit up to talk to my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm here to meet new people. You
Absolutely.
know? But there are some people that reach out. I think they're like, it's almost like the equivalent of showing up late and leaving early to a show. It's like, they'll come here. They ask to be on the show and then they sit down. They have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then the episode comes out. They don't help promote it.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think this is? You know what I
what
mean?
are you
I'm not fucking Joe Rogan. I don't have fucking 14 million podcast followers. You know what I mean? Like,
But they'll get that selfie.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they'll get that selfie.
Yeah. It's whatever, man. It's cool. It's like, you don't know until you know. So I'm always willing to take a chance with, regardless if it's like somebody that I've never heard of and they got 50 Instagram followers. Like, if you feel like you want to come talk to me,
that's cool.
I'll help you get your voice out there.
Yeah. That's dope though, man. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, man. It's all about the power of giving. You know what I mean? You're giving your time and you're giving your platform for other people to get introduced to a new fan base or to your listeners. You know what I'm saying? And
you know how hard it can be just to like, when you are doing all of this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you have a family, you got a job, you got your own projects you're trying to do, like trying to keep up with what other creative people in your area are doing. Yeah. It's impossible if you're like on your own shit all the time. So it's like another big reason why I still do this show is just because I think it's so important to know what's going on in the community and have an understanding of what's actually happening. Yeah. And because that's dope. There's so much more, like, as much as like, my work is the most important thing to me. Yeah. I know that that's not, I'm in a whole city of people that feel that same way. Yep. So it's like, you gotta, I think, like, putting yourself around those people and around that energy and being in a healthy environment. It's just, it helps. It makes me feel so much more inspired to create. Yeah.
See, that's dope. And build and feel, vibing off of other people's energy and receiving that energy. Yeah, that's super dope, bro. And what it does for the city too, man. Hopefully that energy is shared to other people. You know what I'm saying? And they follow suit like what you're doing. You know what I mean? Giving your time and giving your energy. Hopefully they do the same thing. You know what I mean? And that's how great things happen, right? It starts with one thing and then it moves on to the next, and then it moves on to one person, and then it moves on to two people, then it moves on to 4 people, then 8 people. You know what I'm saying? That's how some great things happen. So absolutely, bro. I feel you. Word out.
Word. So, moving forward here in the near future, I guess you're going to be dropping a song a week. Yeah. Yep. Right. Yep. And where can people find that stuff?
Spotify. My Spotify is Gallo Locknez. And then I update my website pretty often. I have gallosworld.com is my website, and I update that pretty often. I'm also starting a fan club. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's multiple reasons why I'm starting a fan club, but one of the main reasons is just social media. Yeah. I mean, I'm mentally done with social media.
Sure. I think a lot of people are. I was listening to recently, like, people are predicting that it could go back to how it was pre-social media with like people having their own websites becoming a thing that, draws people into things instead of like, I just hate how like homogenized Instagram and Facebook and everything is. It's like everything looks the same. Yeah. It's hard to like really express any personality on those platforms sometimes. Sure. And like as an independent creator, it's like you're stuck and subject to the same algorithms and business practices as like fucking Coca-Cola and Nike. Yep. And it's like, I'm not going to sell myself short. You know what I mean? I got my little fan base. Exactly. You do too. Yeah. But I ain't fucking Nike. I can tell you that right now.
Can't compete. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, absolutely, bro. And then like for me, I have a dope following. My Instagram was like my biggest following. Like it was like a global following, and because I have a following, I have fans. I have people that make fan pages of me. So what happened before the start of the year is people started impersonating me. That was new for me.
Oh, that's
right.
weird.
Yeah. So people were actually setting up pages where they were actually impersonating me, and they put pictures of my kids, and they were and they were talking like they were me. So, I'm cool with fan pages. You know what I mean? That's cool. I'm used to that. That's cool. Real quick side note, even when I first started the NBA, man, I was getting death threats. Like people were sending me death threats and yeah, it's crazy. So
weird.
Yeah, it's super crazy. So anyways, but I'm cool with fan pages, not the impersonation stuff. So I was trying to get them reported, get them deleted. Instagram deleted my page. You know why? For impersonation.
Oh, no.
How am I impersonating myself? You know what I mean? Like a huge difference in followers. You know what I'm saying? Like a big difference. And I'm still fighting to get my page back, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, bro, that was 15,000 fans. You know what I'm saying? That was my main source of promoting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'm thankful that I have such dope supporters that it didn't slow my money down. It didn't really slow down my streams and my numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because my supporters follow me. You know what I mean? So I don't have 15,000 followers on Facebook, but all of those 15,000 weren't really like, not all 15,000 of them were like dedicated fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like on Facebook, I have like 5,000, and like a lot of those are like real fans. You know what I mean? And same thing. So we're dropping a song a week, and like my numbers are still good. You know what I mean? And my, the income is still good. So I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? Because that could have been a big hit. You know what I mean? But that also opened me up. It was like, yo, you know what? We all depend on social media too much.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that the platforms that we use, they're going to end eventually. Yeah. They always do.
Yeah. And it's not made for our benefit, bro. It's not made for our benefit.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's why I'm starting a fan club. I'm going to introduce in the next couple of weeks, actually. It is a paid fan club. But like I said, so it's kind of like a
Patreon or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's incentives and everything. But I'm just doing it through me. I don't want to go through a middle, a medium. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it through me, and it's direct access to the fans, direct contact, and not contact, but conversation with the fans.
Yeah.
Direct for me what has always worked is direct sales. You know what I mean? Hitting people up directly. And that's what I want to do, man. I want to have more of a direct interaction with my fans.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I wish you luck with that launch. That's crazy. That's something that I've been like thinking about for a long time before we started recording. I think or maybe we were already recording. I talked about not making any money off the podcast, and we were talking about like, outside ways to monetize it through sponsors. And I was like, well, there just hasn't been a sponsor that I felt like good about accepting money from, you know what I mean? But I had thought about like doing the Patreon thing before, and like, I don't know. It's just like, I just don't feel like I have a good enough reason to. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I don't even know what would my incentives be. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I don't know if I can literally do any more work than I already am. You know what I mean? I upload 2 episodes a week. Plus I'm doing like some live streams that aren't episodes. And I play in 3 bands. I got a full-time job. Like I mean, there's only so much I could do.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, man, it seems like there could be some incentives there, because I mean, I'm sure that could probably help, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. You just got to figure it out and make it work, man.
I feel like for me, I feel like when I'm asking a fan for money to pay for a thing that I'm doing, it's just like, hey, like here's a new merch design. Yeah. Here's a new album. Yeah. Here's a show. Yeah. Not like, give me money monthly to create. Because I've already been doing this shit for the past fucking 20 years of my life. And I've been fine. Like, I don't need an extra. I really don't need the Patreon income. It's like, it would be more interesting to me just to know how many people give enough of a shit to do it. To like lock in on that particular fan base. For sure. Yeah. It's like, that would be more. That would hold more value to me than the actual like income. Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, it's the income plays a big part as to the artist side of things. You know what I'm saying? The traveling and the lodging and the gas and stuff like that, because I don't have a Drake fan base, or you know what I'm saying? Sure. Yeah. And it's harder to get shows that I want to perform. So having that
that help, you know what I mean, that support helps me to be able to travel and helps me to with better promotion, because, you know, we all know marketing and promotion costs money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So and the thing that's dope about that is my fans understand it. They know it. So like, you know, I sell a lot of merch. They buy a lot of music. I mean, I have people that hit me up was like, hey, can I just donate something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, keeping that into consideration and keeping that in mind, it's like, yo, you know what? Let me do this fan club, and there'll be so many different ways to win. And then you talked about sponsorship. I mean, I'm a thinker. So having these people support me in the numbers and the statistics, now I can get sponsorships in. You know what I mean? Because I have direct contact to my fans. So now we could make multiple win-wins. You know what I'm saying? Companies have direct access to a whole new fan base. My fans have direct access to these different companies. And I have incentives. So I give away merchandise, and I do contests so that people could win certain things. You know what I mean? And I have a knack for you know, getting endorsements. You know what I mean? So I have other companies, big companies involved, giving away free products. You know what I mean? Ableton, you know, Roland, and other things like that. You know, companies like that are interested. I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? That we'll be able to give away stuff to help for that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a whole big thing.
That's
bro.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. I respect the hustle for
Thank
sure.
you.
Know,
Thank you.
It's it seems like you got a good head on your shoulders.
Thank you.
And I feel like you're going places, my friend.
Word up. I appreciate it.
You're not even going places. You're already there.
I appreciate it.
You're just living in it.
Yeah. I'm definitely not where I want to be, but you know, one thing about me, bro, is I don't like to follow trends. I don't like to follow what everybody else is doing. I like to kind of just create my own lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's important also to, like, I say, like, you know, pushing yourself and getting to that next place always.
Yeah.
But never losing sight of what you have in the moment while you have it.
Absolutely.
And appreciating what you have, you know.
Yeah. And for me,
at that time.
For me, that's my family.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, I'm going, and you know, I miss my family every time I travel, man. But you know, I talk to them every day. You know what I'm saying? When I'm away, I FaceTime them. You know what I mean? Then when I come back, the next day or two, I ain't doing no music. Don't message me. You know what I'm saying? I'm with my girls. We going out. We doing something. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, that's what it's all about. And it also keeps me grounded. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's easy to get carried away with an ego. It's very easy.
Oh, especially in hip hop.
Exactly. It's actually almost necessary, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't practice that. You know what I'm saying? I take control of, because we all have an ego, but you know, I take control of it. You know what I mean? And, you know, somebody helped me to realize, you know, because of everything that I've accomplished, you know, because there was times I was like, yo, why don't people want to work with me? Like, what's up, yo? Like, I could do so much for people. And somebody helped me to realize people just may be intimidated. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I try to make myself, you know, approachable, you know what I mean? And somebody that people can reach out to. And like I said, I'll reach out to people first. You know what I'm saying? Because I get it now, because some people may be intimidated. Like, yo, you're doing this with this person, and I don't want to get rejected, because we all fear rejection, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll go out of my way and try to make myself available. You see my posts, who wants to do this? Who wants to work on this? That I know people that can sing. I know people that can make beats, but there's probably somebody that's just as talented, but doesn't have the, you know, doesn't want to reach out or scared to reach out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try to make myself
And sometimes
available.
people just think you're busy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That too.
I've like, you know, you hit me up to come on the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been, you know, that happens. There's also people that I reach out to too that I want to get in here. And like, you know, there's been times when like people were like, yeah, I was thinking about reaching out, but I just assumed that like you were booked up.
Yeah.
It's like,
nah, bro.
hit me up.
Yeah,
like,
we'll figure it out. Yep.
You know, I don't plan on, there's no limit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, just let me know you're interested.
Exactly.
And it's like those are people that like I was sweating about asking to, because like I'm like, I think they're busy. They think I'm busy. And then nothing happens.
Nothing happens. And you know what they say about assumption, right? So
yeah,
you know, I try not to live like that, man. I try to reach out to as many people as possible. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, sometimes it may work out, sometimes it may not work out. But, you know, for me, at least I tried and did everything in my power to make it work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this
Word
up
up.
right now.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for being here.
For sure.
And before we do that, one more time, just drop your social media stuff and your internet stuff, your website, so people can find you.
Word out. Yeah, it's Gallo Locknez, everything as far as social media goes. That's Gallo Locknez, Locknez for Locknez. My website is gallosworld.com. And yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way. So I'm on Spotify. I'm not on Instagram right now. Hopefully I'll be on Instagram soon again. Yeah, exactly. You know, Facebook and Spotify and everything. And thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it, man.
You're very welcome,
Yeah.
man. It was awesome to talk with you.
Same here.
And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for being here. One more time, Gallo Locknez.
Yeah.
I'll be back again in a couple of days with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the beat 2020. Woo woo! Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And we are done. Just fade this out and that's it. That's a podcast. We did it.
We did it. We did it. I got like 3 watchers.
Yeah, shout outs to everybody watching. You'll be able to see the actual stream of this sometime in the future, my friends.
Word up.
Yeah.
Word up. All right, y'all.